spoke today of the difficult decision that Romania has to take. Can you give us an example of a difficult decision?
Well, I don't say it's a difficult decision. I said that first we are again in front of a new wave in this pandemic. It's called the fifth wave. And we know that in order to be able to fight this wave of the pandemic and to avoid to go to hospital, and unfortunately for some who go to hospital to die, because this is a very dangerous disease, we have a tool. We know what we have to do. We have to be vaccinated. And I'm the commissioner in charge of the EU vaccination at the EU level. And we worked extremely hard to make sure that we will be able to provide enough vaccine for everybody in Europe. It's done, but also for the rest of the world. Europe today is the first producer of vaccine in mRNA especially. We produce 300 million doses per month. We are sending half of this for every single member state. So Romania has everything. But of course, we need now to make sure that everybody will be able to get vaccinated. Today is the case almost everywhere in Europe, because now we have more than 75% of the population in Europe which is vaccinated, which is good, because now we have only 25% still at risk. And of course, we need to reduce this number. But in Romania, we are below 50%. So this is why there's a big risk, and this is why I think we need to accelerate this vaccination campaign. This is, of course, the tool that we have in our hands, and it's only us.
Okay, the next question is regarding the fake news. In Romania, there's a real problem with the fake news regarding the vaccination. What can we do to counter this wave, this fake news wave?
You know, I'm traveling almost every day, and we have fake news everywhere, not only in Romania. We have fake news in France, we have fake news in Germany, we have fake news in Lithuania, we have fake news in Spain, we have fake news everywhere. We have fake news in Portugal, a lot of fake news. But at the end of the day in Portugal, more than almost 90% of the population is vaccinated. So, I mean, we just have to educate, of course, our children and the young generation to say that, hey, everything which is written on the internet is not true. This is, by the way, why we are now proposing a new regulation, which is called the DSA, where we will control the fake news, where we will control false information, disinformation, and this will be voted in the next month in the European Parliament. It will be in application for everybody. But meantime, I mean, it's very simple. Just look at yourself, and I'm speaking to the young generation. You know exactly that you can make the calculation. 3 billion inhabitants of our planet have already received the vaccine. It's the highest number ever, and there's no danger, no side effect, and it's working. So I think it's important that you explain also to your parents, to your grandparents, that maybe they could have questions, and it's normal. But now we have enough results to make sure that it's working, and of course, we cannot wait. Because not only winter is coming, but with the winter, a new wave of pandemic. And by the way, it's not only me who's saying that. It is the WHO, the World Health Organization, which says that they were expecting that if Europe at large, including, by the way, Russia, where we know that we have also a big problem of vaccine acceptance, is not moving, we could have for all the continent an additional of 500,000 deaths from COVID between now and February or March. So we are informed, we know what could come, but we know also what we have to do. And the good news is that it is in our hands and that we have the tools and we have the ammunitions. And these ammunitions, these are the vaccines.
I understand that this morning you had a meeting with IPAT,
yes.
the first Romanian unicorn. What were the topics of discussion? And is there a possibility of cooperation between the European Commission and this firm or other firms that act in the field of cybersecurity or digitalization?
Yes, I had a long discussion with the president, and of course I will maybe reserve the discussion, of course, for what we said, but I could tell you in general that, of course, I was extremely aligned with him. I think we share exactly the same concern about accelerating the vaccination campaign. Of course, while respecting the belief of everybody. But here we are talking of science. It is science which is important. And I think we all share the same view. We share also with the President the fact that we need to speed up. And that's the good news that we know what we have to do. We spoke also on other subjects like defense and cybersecurity. And it's true that I'm extremely happy that we will have our cybersecurity center from Europe here in Bucharest. It has been decided. And I'm in charge also of digital and cybersecurity for the EU. So our center will be here because we have so much competencies, very good engineers in digital applications. And of course, that's extremely important, of course, for the country, but also for Europe. So we spoke about it at large because that's a very important topic. And by the way, related to our discussion, it's important also because we know that in the let's say digital sphere, there is a lot of actions, hybrid threat against us, not only disinformation, and we know also how to counter-attack, and I'm very happy that Romania will play a very important role for all of us in Europe.
Regarding this subject, when this cybersecurity center will become operational, the one in Romania?
We are ready now. So now, I think the building will be on its start, and as soon as everything will be ready, we will be ready to operate. So I hope it will be the sooner the better. But
you don't know,
no, I don't have the date yet. But we are ready. So now we are pushing hard from both sides to make sure that this will be available as soon as possible. And for me, I hope it will be next year. But we will see if everything will be ready. But we are pushing hard because there is a very strong need to increase again our let's say not only monitoring but also defense in the cyberspace.
Okay, one last question. Romania could start the action for the 5G spectrum next year. Do you think this timeline, compared to other states, how it is? It's late?
Well, I think 5G will bring a lot of new applications and services, and it's true for new Internet of Things, connected cars, digital manufacturing, a lot of new applications, not only for our lives. For our lives, we are already with 4G is already good, but also for our life, but also for new applications, including in health, including in many things. So I think we should not wait too long. So some countries already started, and I think it's good. So I'm happy to see that Romania is starting now because the time from the rollout takes, of course, some semesters, but the sooner it will be available, the better it will be for the transition also of all our economic sector, including our industries.